low can the Democratic Party go? It seems as though Joy Reid is starting to ask that question. Ever since Joy Reid was fired from MSNBC, now she's doing her own thing. She has her own show on YouTube. She's speaking more freely now. And she's starting to kind of sound like some of us. She's starting to sound a little bit like me and other lefty, podcasters out here in these YouTube streets. And it's just interesting because I remember during like the Bernie days, she was against us. Like she was against, what we were asking for. She was against like a lot of the policies that were on like Bernie's platform. She was against, and Bree came on the show and talked about this. During that time, Brianna Joy Gray was supposed to appear on Joy Reid's show on MSNBC. This is when Bree was still Bernie's press secretary, and she was supposed to appear on that show. And apparently, once Joy Reid caught wind of that she was going to be coming on there, the booker who reached out to book her lost their job. So a lot of people don't realize, like people like Bree and others were blackballed or blacklisted because they worked with the Bernie campaign. And at that time, like Joy wasn't trying to hear all this. Listen to what she's saying now. This was Joy here with the I've Had It podcast. I don't know. Have you guys watched these ladies? These two ladies crack me up. Like, I feel like when I listen to them, I feel like I'm listening to this one over here. She kind of looks like my former supervisor. I feel like I'm listening to like my two supervisors, like just have conversations and chat it up, talking about things that would probably be private, but they're on camera talking about it. But if you haven't seen the I've Had It podcast, those women are really funny, really funny. But listen to what Joy Reid said here to them.
My thinking about Hakeem is that he hasn't been the most effective minority leader at all. And the AIPAC situation is so blaring. What's your take on that?
The AIPAC situation is, I went to a meeting of CBC members, and this was in Mississippi. And I didn't get any applause for it, but I told them from the stage, you all have to divorce yourself from AIPAC. You have to divorce AIPAC. Like that divorce needs to happen now. Because as long as AIPAC money is flowing into your coffers, you're never going to be truly free to tell the truth about our foreign policy. It's not going to ever be acceptable, even to MAGA people, to spend American tax dollars for a genocide.
Right.
It's just not acceptable with Bibi Netanyahu.
Let me pause here. So she's calling out AIPAC and she says, look, it's not acceptable for people anymore. So let me ask you guys this question. If Kamala Harris wins the 2024 presidential election, is this conversation taking place? Are Democrats like Joy Reid, are people going to question AIPAC and its hold on politicians? Does this happen? Because I'm seeing more people they're more vocal about it now that weren't before. So I got to ask, if Kamala Harris would have won in 2024, does this conversation happen that the Democratic Party needs to walk away from AIPAC, needs to walk away from billionaire money? Does it happen? In my opinion, I would say no, because if she would have won, they wouldn't feel there's a reason to address this issue in the room. Just something to think about.
There. So the AIPAC thing is a big problem for me. I like Hakeem Jeffries as a person.
I do too.
He's definitely a more effective leader than Schumer.
That's no question.
Say. By far, right?
He whipped he can
keep his caucus together.
He can whip. Schumer, no.
Yeah. And I think
someone tell me what this means. This person part. Listen to this.
So the AIPAC thing is a big problem for me. I like Hakeem Jeffries as a person.
I do.
What does that mean? Like, tell me, fam. What does it mean? Like when people say, well, I like this, I like her as a person. What do you mean? What's that about? Because like, are they trying to say that, well, I like him as a person, but I just don't like him at his job? Okay. But that same person decided to take money from the Israeli lobby. That same person refused to call, it a genocide in Gaza. That same person, and it's not just Israeli lobby. Hakeem take a lot of money from corporate interests. That same person is against Medicare for all. So what do you mean? Y'all got to tell me.
Too.
He's definitely a more effective leader than Schumer.
That's what I
No
was gonna
question.
say.
By far, right?
He whipped
He
he can
can
whip.
keep his caucus
He
together.
can whip. Schumer, no.
Yeah. And I think unlike Schumer, he's actually, and I don't mean this in a condescending way, he's teachable. Like, I think you can work with him. You can get him to where he needs to be. And the challenge with a House leader as opposed to a Senate leader, it's a little more complicated. It's why even when people were like, we need to replace Pelosi with a younger person, I wasn't for it. Because I'm like, a House leader is somewhat different. You have to, it's a much bigger caucus.
Right.
It's very much dependent on your ability to fundraise for other people and to know.
That right there. And that tells you what it's all about. It's all about the money. It's all about fundraising. It's not really about accomplishing goals. It's not really about getting policies passed. It is about raising money. And ultimately, this is the problem I think the Democratic Party has run into, right? We see Donald Trump came in like a wrecking ball and just tore shit up. Just did whatever he wanted to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Whatever he wanted to do. And the Democrats, it's like, instead of being on the offensive, they're always on defense. And sometimes you need to be on offense. And so she's letting you know it's all about, can that person fundraise? So it all goes back to the money, following the money.
Everything about their lives in order to be able to know, like, who's got a grandkid coming and what do they need in order to get to where they need to be to whip those votes is something you couldn't just put a green new person and have them be the speaker as much as we would like them. So he's been set up for that position for so long that I feel like it will be very difficult to replace him with somebody who would be as effective. I don't know that that's true.
But
I'm
you,
not
so you
as
kind
eager.
of agree with that he's our leader and we should focus on moving him, evolving him to the base.
Plan A would be move him. But I'm not against primarying anybody. To be honest with you, I'm pro primary, period. Because I think primaries make you stronger, they make you sharper, they make you focus.
I don't think she would have been able to say this if she was still on MSNBC, or what is it, MS Now, as opposed to MS Later. I don't think she would have been able to say this if she still had the Reid Out show. Look, I told you guys, and I'll say it again, Hakeem Jeffries needs to go. Because when I said don't support candidates that take AIPAC money, I meant all of them. I don't mean give a pass to him. No, that's not what this is about. Oh, hello. Right? Because that corruption is still there. And I see Hakeem Jeffries just working against like the progressive policies in every way, shape, or form. He voted alongside with Republicans to condemn socialism. That means Hakeem Jeffries is willing to align with the Republican Party before he aligns with people to the left of him in his own party. That's that ratchet effect. Pow. But I don't think she says this if she's on MSNBC.
If it's going to take a primary to move him, that's another way to move him.
See, that's what my thought is. Okay. I kind of want him to be primary just because I want him to understand we are serious about moving the message, moving off AIPAC. Yeah. We mean it. Chuck Schumer, I would love for him to get an opponent and get beat. Like, but it's different. You asked about Hakeem Jeffries.
I agree. And I think a primary would sharpen the mind of Hakeem Jeffries. Like, he would understand that people are still, I hate to say it, but the Democratic Party needs a Tea Party movement.
Yes.
They need a Tea Party movement.
The Democratic Party had a Tea Party movement, but people like Joy Reid were against that. Remember, it's just like, I don't get this. Like, tell me, I feel like I need a drink. Okay. Like, I really do feel like I don't know. Because I'm starting to ask myself, am I losing my mind? Because I remember when there was, the push with Justice Democrats. I remember Bernie Sanders, 2020 and 2016. I mean, that was almost 10 years ago if you're going back to 2016. So this whole idea the Democratic Party needs a Tea Party movement, when all of that was happening, and it seems like it's happening again with some of the other races, when all of that was happening, Joy was against that. Joy was out there for Joe Biden. Look at where that got us. Got us a whole damn genocide. At least started it. Trump continued it. So I don't get this. As if these things like did not happen before.
And it's like, it's time to have, the only reason we have an AOC is a primary, Oh
my God, man. It's baffling to me again. And I just, you guys got to understand, like, people like me, and still not till this day, people like me, never allowed in those spaces. Never. You see some people from YouTube media, like on CNN, MSNBC, they never would reach out to me. Never, because I don't play the game. And I don't play the game that the way that they want me to do it, you know? So it's like, we all know that the Democratic Party has these issues. We all know that a lot of these policies, such as universal health care, Medicare for all, whatever you want to call it these days, we know that a lot of Americans now, the numbers are showing they don't want money to go to Israel. They don't want these wars. We know these things are popular. But the problem came when people like Joy Reid, who had a megaphone at that point in time and had way more followers and viewers than the rest of us, the problem was the corporate media. They either smeared those policies, they said there's no way that this could happen, or they did everything in their power to tell you why those politicians would be bad, instead of listening to what the people were saying. So again, I ask, if Kamala Harris won in 2024, does this conversation take place? Here she is again with this is Wajahat Ali on his show. Another thing here, now she's calling out capitalism.
Neoconservatism, done. But the other one that's dead, neoliberalism.
That's right.
This idea that you're going to have a cozy relationship with corporate America, cozy relationship with billionaires because they're the nice billionaires, cozy relationship with Silicon Valley. I see people out there saying the mistake of Biden is that he didn't embrace Elon Musk. He should have been Elon's friend instead of letting Trump be Elon's friend. This neoliberalism idea that we can have a cozy relationship with capitalism and we can have our own nice version of it, that is dead, y'all. Young people don't even believe in capitalism anymore because they can't afford to live in a system where billionaires eat everything and leave us with the crumbs.
Isn't that what was said, though, in 2020 and 2016? Isn't that what was said? So why is it that all of a sudden either you get it now because Kamala lost, or it's because you're no longer with MSNBC? And it's just, and I gotta say this, okay? I think that people like Joy Reid, those who left corporate media and are doing the YouTube podcast now, I think they owe people that were a part of that movement an apology. I mean, has Joy Reid reached out to Breonna Joy Gray and apologized? Because it's interesting. I'm hearing them use our words. You know what I mean? It's like now she's calling out capitalism when many of us on YouTube have been doing that for years, but we were never allowed into those spaces that Joy Reid was in. Now she, running around like this, her idea. Let me know what's up. So it just, I just honestly feel as though, again, if Kamala would have won in 2024, this conversation isn't happening. So it's just, sometimes I try to find the good in the bad. Like when something bad happens, which I tried to tell you guys, I believe that she was going to lose, but a lot of people didn't believe me. I try to look for the good within the bad, right? Like, obviously I didn't want Trump either. Like if it was my way, like I wanted, Jill Stein, I wanted a third party. I wanted someone different, someone not attached to these parties, and someone that had an agenda that I was really passionate about. So I knew Trump would be bad. I also knew Kamala was going to be bad. And it's baffling to me. It just really is. The time to say those things was in 2024. The time to say those things was in 2024 prior to the presidential election. And it wasn't said. It wasn't said. Joy Reid sat right there on that panel after Kamala lost, and she said, Kamala ran a flawless campaign. But listen to everything that Joy's saying now. Those things weren't a part of Kamala's campaign, so it wasn't flawless. So were you reading the script then, or are you reading the script now? Going a little bit more here.
American people don't want to fight foreign wars. We don't want to be Israel's lackey being walked around on a leash by Bibi Netanyahu while he's genociding Palestinians. We don't want to Trump's trying to remake the Palestinian Mandate and put American troops on the ground in Gaza to enforce Jared Kushner getting to have a massive real estate deal. I don't care whether you're left, right, or it don't matter. None of us want that.
So yeah, I mean, it's just interesting that she gets it now. I mean, I don't even know, what to say. Here's the thing here also about AIPAC.
And Democrats got to get this. The AIPAC marriage, it's divorce or die, Democrats. You are never going to be able to get the majority of people, left or right, to go along with this obedience to a foreign country. We must stop being obedient to them. It has to end. And so I think what's going to happen is I wish Zoran Mamdani was born in the United States because he could easily be the next president. Because what you normally get when you get fascism, normally fascism is followed by socialism historically. And
I swear to God, I feel like she got that from me. It sounds like she heard those direct words from me on this show. But here's the thing. When, again, 2024, you had two presidents that were taking money from AIPAC. You had presidential candidates. You had Donald Trump and Kamala Harris were both taking money from the Israeli lobby. When Kamala Harris sat there in multiple interviews and she was asked if she would withhold weapons from Israel. And she wouldn't do it. And she was asked, about the ceasefire. We're working tirelessly for a ceasefire. Everything's always tirelessly. Everybody knows that. Word gets used a lot in politics. And at none of that time, Joy was very critical, or somewhat critical, on her show about what Israel was doing to Gaza. I believe that's part of the reason why she was fired. But Joy Reid interviewed Kamala Harris fairly recently. Kamala Harris sat right there and lied to Joy Reid's face when it came to this issue. Joy Reid did not push back. So the thing is, let's see if this holds up come 2028. This whole, we can't support candidates that take money from AIPAC. Because there are going to be Democrat candidates in 2028 that are running that take money from AIPAC. Gavin Newsom, hell, donates money to AIPAC. Okay. So let's see if this still holds up, this theory that you shouldn't support those people. Because I would imagine, as usual, they're going to tell you, well, you got to go with them anyway. And that's part of the reason why I feel things don't really change. We'll have to see if that holds up.
So people are, even if they don't specifically embrace socialism, social democracy is what's on the rise. People want to know transactionally, how is my vote going to make my life affordable? People want cash in their hand, cash in their bank account. They want to be able to afford their rent. They want to be, and that's it. And the idea that what people really want is Nazism and all that. Okay, a few people do. There's like a third of Americans that want that, but most people don't. Most people don't. They want to be able to afford their lives. And whoever can make that case, even if it's Marjorie, if Democrats let Marjorie Greene get there first, I can't blame nobody but them.
Well, and this is the sad part. I feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene has been closer to moving in that direction than members of the Democratic Party. So the thing is, it's like, if you don't take the jump, somebody else will take it. It's kind of like, what's the singer's name? A. Marie. A. Marie has come forward recently talking about how, songs that were originally offered to her, there were other singers who took those songs and she didn't get credit for it. And it's one of those things, is like I said, like, if you don't get the jump on it, somebody else will. It's a nasty game. But I think the question people are going to ask is, how low can the Democratic Party go? How low can they go? I guess we'll have to wait and see, because the reality is the Democrat Party leadership doesn't want to walk away from AIPAC. Chuck Schumer said that he is the guardian of Israel. Whatever the hell that means. They don't want to walk away from that. Hakeem's still taking money from AIPAC right now. You can look this up on Open Secrets. He's still getting money from AIPAC right now. So I don't believe there's any way to move or change Hakeem Jeffries. He's already bought. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.